sentences, blah, 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 blah. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really well. My name is Hannah and I'm a thriller and horror author from the southeast of England. On this channel I make videos about writing, reading, art and generally stuff that's creative, so if that sounds like your cup of tea, please stick around and subscribe. I have spent a lot of time recently watching other people's videos about how they sort out their to be read list, and yeah, I have honestly spent an embarrassing amount of time on YouTube just watching people choose what they're going to read. They don't even give me reviews of it. They literally just go over what they're going to read that month, and I find it really entertaining for some reason. And I figured I have done this kind of video on my channel a few times before, but I normally just choose what I fancy reading and then tell you what I'm going to read. But this time I wanted to do it a little bit differently. I have watched people choose their TBR in some really weird and wonderful ways. There is an English booktuber who I'll link down below because her name has kind of escaped me a little bit, to be honest. She chooses her books by throwing darts at a colour coordinated dartboard that's somehow linked to the books on her bookshelf, and then she randomly chooses stuff, and there are rules, and it looks like it takes a long time to organise. And there's someone else that's literally created a TBR board game. And as amazing as these ideas are, no. I am a few things in life. One of them is lazy, in brackets efficient, and two, I'm really busy, so I just know making a board game, as fun as that does sound, I do not have the time for it. So I watched Kate Kavanagh's video, and obviously lots of Jess's videos, on how they choose their TBR. And what Kate has done is trying to imagine her, or trying to treat her bookcases like her own personal library. So I have a really bad habit, like pretty much anyone else that likes books, of buying lots and lots of books. So treating my own books like a library and actually going through them and saying I haven't read like probably about 40% of the books that I own, which actually watching other people's videos turns out is pretty good. But yeah, it feels like quite a waste of money, and like I just should not be buying any new books. So I went through my books. I have come to the conclusion that I have a few categories that stand out, and I'm going to be choosing books in those categories to read by probably the end of December. I'm going to be choosing between probably 8 and 12 books. I'm not planning to read that many by the end of December. I normally only average at maybe 4 a month if I'm lucky, if I'm in like a good place. Which I am right now, but I'm also doing nano and also doing some like art classes, so I don't know if 4 a month is really realistic or if it's going to be a few less than that, but whatever. What I'm going to do is choose between 10 and 12 off of my bookcases, and that will basically just give me some flexibility, because normally whenever I choose a book to read, I'll wait until I finish the one I'm currently reading, and then I'll just choose one randomly, or choose what I fancy from the bookcase, which normally means the ones I've owned for longer get ignored because I'll just choose whatever I've bought most recently. So I'm going to aim to choose between 10 and 12 books in some certain categories that I will go through when I look through my bookcases and ascertain what kind of books I actually have. And yeah, that will just give me some flexibility, so when it comes to actually choosing what book I want to read, I can kind of float around between those 10 or 12. Let's have a rummage through my bookshelves. And they're all going to sit in these categories. So they're either going to be contemporary, horror, dystopia, manga, sci-fi, classic, non-fiction, thriller, and then one reread. Book one to choose is a contemporary. I do not honestly remember the last time I read a contemporary, so I don't really know where to start with this actually. So you are a contemporary? I would say that is contemporary. Oh, you're definitely a contemporary. I don't actually have that many contemporary novels, but when I read a contemporary, I really enjoy it. So I think I ought to probably read more contemporary. That's definitely contemporary. I have started it and I DNF'd it, so maybe now is the time to pick that up and give it another go. These are the 3 contemporaries I've picked from the bookshelves. I do have some more in the bedroom, but I'm just honest to God too lazy. So I'm gonna not go for this one because I've started it and I didn't finish it, and I think I didn't finish it for a reason. And I'm not really in the mood to revisit, so I might try that one again later. I've got these 2. Now I don't want to choose between them. So this one is South African and this one is Korean. And they both have really stunning covers. This one my brother lent me. I think I might put both of these on the list for now. Okay, cool. These are our first 2 on my sad carpet. The 2 books I have so far on my TBR are Ways of Dying by Zegs Abdar and If I Had Your Face by Francis Cha. And they kind of rhyme, and that's really satisfying. So next on the list is dystopia. Obviously, Margaret Atwood plays a really big role in my liking of dystopias. Handmaid's Tale was probably the first dystopia that I read, and I'll be honest, I have not yet read The Testaments. So I believe that's probably what we have to read. Though, saying that, I haven't read 1984 since I was about 12. I don't remember it. I don't even think I finished it. I think I pretty much just read it at school and was like, meh, whatever, don't like it. And it was because I was told to like it, you know, like that stubborn child reaction. Yeah, I did that thing. So I don't know if I should go for The Testaments or 1984. Okay, I'm gonna go for The Testaments. We're gonna do it. It is now on the shelf. Next on the list was horror. I feel like I've just walked over here for no reason because all my horror books are back over there. I definitely came the wrong way for the horror, apart from a Stephen King, which I've already read. And I don't particularly want to reread a Stephen King. Back over to my messier shelf. The majority of my horrors are kind of dotted around. So I've got one here, and quite a few of them are from the Abominable Book Club box. So I've got A Cosmology of Monsters by Sean Hamill, which looks quite fun. I've got another Will Carver one, but I didn't really jam with Will Carver's style of writing, so I think I'm not going to try and read that this time around. Got the newest one from the box, which is The Boatman's Daughter, which is like another folky horror-y one, which is always fun. Also got one over here, which I never got around to reading, which is Dark Ink by Gary Kemble. Could reread, there could be a reread. Got by Richard Matheson, I Am Legend, which is an absolute classic. Also got the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, which I never got round to reading. I bought it, and then I read some like kind of worrying reviews about it, and then I just shelved it and I just didn't bother reading it. So I could read that, but I think I might actually. I don't know. I'm stuck between this one and this one. So this is another Matheson book, but I've never read it, and this came in this month's Abominable Book Club box, and it was my second-hand book, and I was very excited to receive it because I haven't actually ever got around to reading any other Richard Matheson besides I Am Legend, and I just bloody love a haunted house. Like, who doesn't love a good haunted house? And I haven't read a good haunted house novel in such a long time, so I'm kind of tempted to go for that one. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for this one. So, Hell House by Richard Matheson, book number 4. Next on the list was actually to invade Dan's bookshelf. I have read very little manga, ever. I've read Junji Ito, and that's literally it. I've watched my fair share of anime. Really into Demon Slayer right now, and Haikyuu. I friggin' love Haikyuu. If you're watching an anime, let me know. I need some more. I need more. I can't get enough. But I've never actually read any like classic apart from Ito, and I do not know what to go for. Oh no. Attack was the first anime I ever watched. Aside from the films, I think actually the first anime film I ever watched was Your Name, which has, honest to God, it stayed with me. It's such a beautiful film. I literally don't know what to go for. I think I am going to go for... I'm gonna go for a cutesy one because I've chosen horror, and freaking love My Hero Academia, and I want to read it. So yeah, manga done. My Hero Academia going on to the TBR shelf. This is actually really hard work. I quite enjoy treating my own bookshelves like a library because I have such a bad habit of buying books, as any person that loves books can empathise with, I'm sure. But yeah, I've got so many books on my shelves that I have not read, and it's terrible, and I need to change that, and I'm going to focus on getting through them. But this next category, I think I'm going to have trouble choosing what I want to add to the list, so a few might end up sneaking on the shelf. This is sci-fi. I go through fits and starts with sci-fi. I don't read it for ages, and then I only read sci-fi, and I've never really been into fantasy, but sci-fi I get, you know, I feel sci-fi. So we have a few that are not mine, so the William Gibson ones are Dan's, but I could I could read Neuromancer. He bangs on about it a lot, and it's a very pretty cover. Whoops. Or this is one I bought not long ago, Vandermeer. I absolutely adore Annihilation, but then the other two books in that trilogy are just bad, like just disappointing. But we could go for Dead Astronauts, and that might be fun. Oh, I also have Insurrection by Tay Thompson. I did bang on about Rosewater for a long time, and I have lent that to my dad now, and I think he'll really like it. So maybe that one. Oh, see, I've got some Philip K. Dick. I'm mature. Get out of here. I don't know if I'm digging those. I don't know if I'm feeling it. Where have all my sci-fi novels gone? I mean, a lot of them are on my Kindle, which would probably explain why I'm not finding many of them over here. Sci-fi, where you at? Oh, we've got a little sneaky one hiding here. Larry Niven. C'est classique. But can't be asked to read it, to be quite honest. Do I honestly not have any more sci-fi? Also realised that these, I know these are fantasy. I know that, and so is Neil Gaiman, but the only fantasy authors I read are Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett and Mark Stay. So until any of them, obviously not Terry Pratchett, are going to release anything new, I'm not going near fantasy. It just doesn't do it for me. Sorry, everyone out there that really enjoys fantasy, like everyone else but me. Okay, we're going to stick to these two. So we have Insurrection, which is the second book in the Rosewater series, and Dead Astronauts by Vandermeer, and I'm going to put both of them because I want to read both of them, and I don't know what I'm going to fancy until I get to reading it. That makes sense? Yeah. Next up we have classics. Again, quite a few of these are on my Kindle, but I think the ones on my Kindle I have actually read, so there won't be that many on my bookshelves, and also, again, like all my other books, they're in no real discernible order, so we'll have to walk around all of my bookshelves to try and find some classics to read. Where are classics? Knees. How old am I? How old am I? Are there even any classics on this shelf? Depends on your definition of classic. Oh, a real one. There's a classic. Oh, and some rubbish. So we had The Divine Comedy by Dante. Obviously a classic. I'm going to argue that this is a classic. I mean, it says modern classics. That counts. So Chester Himes' A Range in Harlem. To the other shelves. There's no classics on the middle one. So over to this one. So I have some, I think, that sit in kind of the middle. They're not like technically classics, but they're not modern either. Like J.G. Ballard, like Douglas Coupland. I know they're not classics, but they're like kind of are, you know, depending on your definition. And Bukowski, I haven't read him in ages. You know, I lent my Ham on Rye to someone actually years ago and I have no idea where it's gone. Oh, here's one. Truman Capote, Breakfast at Tiffany's is a modern classic, obviously. Don't know if I'm feeling that one, though it is short. And I've picked out quite a few like big books so far. So I've got F. Scott Fitzgerald, The Great Gatsby, which I have read. And I don't want this to be my reread, so I'm not going to pick up that one. However, I do have this chunker, which is like a classic works of, so I could choose something from here and read that. Definitely not the entire thing, because that probably would take me till Christmas. I suppose technically I could like also put Orwell's 1984 on the list because it's a modern classic again. But I don't know if I feel like I need something that's not quite so dark and, you know, reflective of the current state of all of our lives. You feel me? Okay, what I've decided to do is go for a classic horror. So we have either Bram Stoker's Dracula or the prettiest cover ever of Frankenstein. And I've been going on a proper Mary Shelley binge recently because she's just bloody wonderful. So I think I'm going to go for Frankenstein. Just after I said, all of the books I've picked up have got too many pages and they'll take me ages to read. That's fine. I need to choose some shorter books. So that is a classic. This is non-fiction. There is this one, which I have already read before for research, sort of. I just really wanted to read it. I've also got Stephen King's Dumb Macabre, which I have not read all of. I've kind of dabbled in it, but it's a bit of a chonker, so I think I gave up. Got some True Crime, fun stuff, it's always fun. Got Neil Gaiman's The View from the Cheap Seats. Already read The Art of Asking, and I don't want that to be my reread, so I'm not going to go for that one. I've got Educated, which is non-fiction. autobiography of Malcolm X. Just as I said I wanted something happy, could go for The Shock Doctrine, which is really, really dark and very depressing. So I don't think we'll go for that either. Okay, so non-fiction I was really struggling with, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this one a go. So what would Boudica do? Or what would Bodicea do, even though that's not how it's spelt anymore. The spelling changed or something. I've never read this. I got given it as a gift a while back. I just kind of never really got around to it, and then I put it on this little display and it looked cute and I didn't want to move it. So yeah, let's give What Would Boudica Do a go. So second to last is thriller, and then the last one is reread. Thrillers are a weird one for me right now. So obviously anyone that's read it knows that number 47 is a thriller, and thrillers up until very recently I would say they're still up there. They're still up there with my favourite types of book. I do enjoy a thriller, but it's one of those that I go through like phases with. Sometimes I'm really, really into them, and then I'll read like 6 in one go and then basically never look at them for a year. And I haven't read a thriller for a long time, so I don't really know how I'm going to choose one. I definitely have some on my shelves that are hidden and I haven't read them yet, so yeah, we'll find something. This is Samantha Downing. I've already read that. It was fine. Oh, that would probably be the last thriller I read, actually. It really was like thoroughly okay. Okay, so this one is obviously, that's a thriller. The Wanted by Robert Craze? I don't know. Oh, I do have, you know what I do have? I do have a David Baldacci, and I have never read anything by him. We've got one over there by CJ Box. I've read one by CJ Box before, and it was pretty good. Oh, melting. Some more thrillers up here. Oh, this is a good one, but obviously I've read it. And don't judge me. Don't judge me, I enjoy Dan Brown. I enjoy Dan Brown, but happily bash Lee Child. I'm reading that. Oh, Steve Kavanagh. I've heard lots of good things about Steve Kavanagh, and I've never read anything by him. I don't actually know where this came from, or how I came to be in possession of it. Oh, I could go for Dexter. I don't know what to do. There are too many to choose from. I'm going for Dexter. Wicked, let's do it. I can't bother to read that one. I don't know which one's the first one. That's good. Okay, I'm taking them both over because I don't know. Ah, it's this one. So, Darkly Dreaming Dexter. And the last one to choose is a reread, and I already know what I'm going to choose for this because I've been meaning to reread this forever. It is probably my favourite novel. I'm going to reread Neverwhere. This is a copy that my really good friends got me for Christmas, and it's illustrated, which is why it's so chunky, and it's beautiful because obviously Chris Riddell did it and he's wonderful. So that's going on the to read shelf, and there we have it. Ignore these. Oh look, another thriller. That actually looks pretty good, but I'm not really in the mood for it right now. So, on my list of things to read before Christmas, again, I'm not going to get to all of these. I pretty much just chose too many so that when it comes to choosing what I want to read, I can be like, man, I'm really feeling that. So, we have The Art of Dying, we have If I Had Your Face, we have The Testaments, we have Hell House, we have My Hero Academia, Insurrection, Dead Astronauts, Frankenstein, What Would Boudica Do, Darkly Dreaming Dexter, and Neverwhere. Okay, I'm not going to lie to you, that took a lot longer than I thought it was going to take. So just to go over the books that I did choose to see if I could actually hold them up close enough to the camera for you to see them without just dropping them everywhere, are these ones. And now I can't actually read them to you because they're facing the wrong way. Yippee! The Art of Dying by Zakes Dar, If I Had Your Face by Frances Char, The Testaments by Margaret Atwood, Hell House by Richard Matheson, I'm super excited about, My Hero Academia, the first book, because don't judge me, I don't own Haikyuu, or else I'd read that, because I am a 12-year-old girl. Insurrection by Tay Thompson, Dead Astronauts by Jeff Vandermeer, which I am so excited to read, Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, What Would Boudica Do by E. Foley and B. Coates, Darkly Dreaming Dexter by Jeff Lindsay, and I'm going to reread Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman. And I need to put these down because it's really, really warm. I feel like we've been through a bit of an ordeal together. That took a lot longer than I thought it would. And now I'm really, really toasty. So those are the 11 books that I have to choose from over the next few weeks, months, till the end of December. My current read, because I am about 4 years behind everyone else on the planet, is actually Scythe by Neil Schusterman. I want to say I remembered that right. I don't know. Thoroughly enjoying it, actually. I'm really digging a bit of YA recently, but I couldn't have that as a category because all the YA I have read, which is really unusual because every other category I've not obviously read all of them. So yeah, those are my 11. Also, I've just realised the 11 books I have will, at the end of November, increase to 12 because although I've just stood here for ages and said that I'm not going to buy any more books because I own too many that I haven't already read, and that's really terrible and wasteful and just not very economic of me at all. Ernest Cline has Ready Player 2 out, and I'm going to need that the second it's released, and I will read it as soon as I get my hands on it. So that'll be slotting into the old sci-fi, so technically I have 2 sci-fi books now. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I actually had a really good time, like rummaging through my shelves like a little loner with a personal library, because I can't go to a real library right now anyway, so... All the videos I have mentioned throughout this video, like Kate's and Jess's, and the two insanely creative people that made board games to choose their books, I will link in the description below. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy it, please do like it and be sure to subscribe to my channel, and I will be back next week with another one. Bye!